Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Okay. Well, like Kate said, I am Kate Stankowski. My maiden name is Kane, so hence KANE9 dog training. It's my husband over there, Casey. He's a video guy, so he'll be kind of capturing me as I'm doing my thing. But first off, I just want to kind of talk about, it's so cool what you guys are doing, and having a room of all ladies, females is awesome. And I know that a lot of you guys are probably kind of decide, what do I want to do with my life? And I was right where you guys are at not so long ago. But you can go to the next one. First, a little bit about me. So I kind of talk about that I'm a growth mindset chaser, and I wasn't always that way. I was kind of like a stay small, don't be too much, don't be too loud, until I realized being too much and too loud is the cool thing to do. So it's always about how can I grow myself as an individual and then also as an entrepreneur. I love traveling, but I'm a homebody. So I love being home, cozy with my dogs. I'm an oat milk latte connoisseur, and I'm passionate about lifting heavy things and driven to help others uncover their potential. So first, let me introduce you to my family. So obviously, Casey and I, our male, he is 9 years old now, and he is Rhodey. And then our cat in the middle, that is Ducky. And then over here, my pride and joy, my youngest, and that is Birdie. So I had to introduce to you my family. And a little bit about my timeline of what's brought me to KANE9. So I graduated high school in 2010, and like a lot of you, I was kind of like, what do I do with my whole life? I need to make that decision right now, right? That's what we feel like, is we need to know what we want to do. And I was kind of always brought up in a way of my parents are very much do what you want, what is you're passionate for, but it was you go to college and you get a job and that's what you do. So that's what I did. I went to college, and I don't regret that by any means. It was an amazing experience. I went to UW Green Bay, and it was kind of perfect for where I was back then. It's a little bit more of a quieter campus. There isn't any major party life, so it kind of kept me in my comfort zone. So right out of college, I wanted to definitely do the whole get a job. I want to find good benefits. I wanted to, start making money, of course, because you want to be able to buy things with the money that you make. So I started working for a cheese company out of Green Bay in sales and marketing. And I loved what I did. I started basically doing their social media, creating some of their presentations that they would take when they're going to meet with clients and things for trade shows. And I was comfortable. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I grew during my time there and then went into sales, and that's when I was basically traveling around the United States all of the time. There was 1 month that I was home in June for 4 nights, and it was just airport was my relationship, and hotels was my home, and eating out was my lifestyle. So it was really fun at 22 at first, when you're cool, I can just charge this to the company, I'm getting really nice meals and stuff like that. But then I was kind of I'm away from home a lot. This is a lot. But I was making good money again. For my age, I was further up in the company than other people, and it felt comfy. It felt cozy. I enjoyed it. Fast forward a little bit to deciding, okay, I'm able to spend a little bit more time at home, but then also Casey and I got married, so let's get a dog. And that's what kind of changed everything for me. So in high school, I spent a lot of time volunteering at our local humane society, and I always walked the dogs that nobody wanted to walk. Can anyone guess maybe the breed? Pitties. And that is what made me realize I need to be a Pibble mom when I get older. And that sounds great. And I love the breed, so this is not even a breed thing. But I knew I wanted to get a pit bull. And I go into the shelter, and Casey's he's 2 years younger than I am. He was actually still in high school, oh my gosh. You're still in high school. He was still in college. He was about to graduate. And I'm I'm just gonna go look. I'm just gonna walk into the shelter and walk past and just look, right? Because window shopping for dogs, it's a great thing to do. And so I'm walking past and I see this cute little red pitty who you saw in the earlier slide. And I'm like, oh, he's cute. And I walk up, and now knowing so much about dog behavior and stuff like that, there was 18,000 red flags. But again, I love my dog to death, but a lot of red flags. And he was the one that's like in the way back and like doesn't want to come up to the front for anyone, is super timid. And now I know he was really aroused when other dogs were around. I'm like, oh, he seems perfect. He's like, why not take that one? So of course he only came up to the front door for me. So I'm like, he chose me. He had to have. And so I bring him out. He was only 5 months old at this age, so still just like a precious puppy, but just had a lot going on. Well, guess who went home with me? At that time, his name was Charming. And it's hilarious now to me because he's charming in his own way, but he's one of the least most charming dogs you'll ever meet. But so he came home with me, and I told Casey, I called him because he was coming to visit me that week, and I was like, hey, I gotta let you know, I brought a dog home from the shelter, but it's a trial basis. And he's like, Kate, I know how this works. Like, they don't just like send dogs home with people and like let you trial it out. I'm like, no, I promise. So I got a dog without talking to my fiance, and obviously he stuck, he stayed. We both fell in love with him, but quickly after we got him, behaviors were extremely scary, not from a standpoint of like going at us or anything like that, but I had never seen what now I know is dog reactivity on a leash to the level and the intensity that I had seen it. You know, at the end of the leash, barking, snarling at any dog that was going by, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the most aggressive dog in the world, like what do I do? So after that, I realized I need help. And that is truly what kind of, you can go to the next slide if you don't mind. So I realized that I turned my desperation for help into my passion and the fuel to my why. So I reached out to every trainer you could possibly imagine, every type of ideology. The dog training world is pretty cutthroat and judgmental at times, which is overall kind of like, unless you're in it, you don't really know. But there's a lot of thought process of you don't tell dogs no ever, and if you do, you're a bad owner. But then it's like everyone just has their own ways of thinking how you should train your dog. I'm sure it's a lot like parenting, but I'm not a parent, so I'm just gonna stick to dogs for right now, but I'm sure there's a lot of opinions on how to do things right. So I was trying all of them, every single one of like, never tell him no, throw cookies at him when he's reacting, and then I'm like, this is not working, like none of this is working. And then I found balance training, which is more of what I'm into, of helping a dog understand what no means and creating clarity for them so their nervous system can relax, but also telling them yes for the things that they're doing a really good job for. And my biggest thing is advocating for your dog.